Take two.
Yes. So doing a video and an audio is different?
Absolutely, because I got to hit record on so many different things here.
Oh, okay. So we didn't record. So this is take two, but it is take one for our YouTube channel.
Absolutely. It's actually take two for everything because I didn't record the audio before.
But it's our first YouTube video.
So I'm Kevin.
I'm Kristen.
And this is
Marriage in the Buff.
Which is our weekly podcast.
Yes.
Where we talk all things marriage.
That's right. That's what I was going to ask you. But
God's way.
Marriage God's way. In the buff, meaning open with each other, open with God, no secrets.
Spiritually, emotionally, mentally. I said emotionally.
You said physically also, which is sometimes the
I didn't
easiest.
say physically. That's what's in your
Last time
mind.
you said physically.
Oh, I thought that was on your mind.
But that's the least of what we talk about.
Are you undressing me with your eyes?
No.
Oh, that's what I felt. It's uncomfortable. We're on camera.
But doing marriage God's way and trying, even though we fail a lot.
Yes.
Because we're human.
Yes.
And
are you sure you're human?
We're
are you
still
one of those like
on this side of heaven?
Are you one of those reptile people?
Oh my goodness.
Anyway,
wish we still had take one.
Oh, this is take one.
You didn't talk about reptile people.
I know, it's much more fun this time. You and your tea.
Anyway,
and we're in Buffalo.
That was what I was going to say. Yes,
we
are in Buffalo, so it's a play on words.
Marriage in the buff. Mm-hmm. And always.
And then also, what we started to talk about is that we fail a lot.
Wow.
So we are going to have to figure out a way to overcome those failings and overcome our trials and overcome that. So I think a lot of it is going to be how to do that, how to learn from others. Yes,
because we need others. I mean, the Bible, everything is about community. You don't go through life alone. And when you do, you have issues and problems because you have no one to lean on, to learn from.
Yeah.
And you're also not sharing your knowledge of what you've learned. So we fully believe in community and doing things together, especially marriage. We always need those people who are ahead of us.
Yep.
And we need to be talking to the people behind us so that we're learning from people. And we're also transferring that to other people because in 25 years of marriage, we have learned a lot.
Right. It doesn't mean we always did it the right way.
Or do it the right way.
But we've gotten to the point where we feel like we know where to find the answers.
Yes.
Because God has the answers. Because
Absolutely. God
is the creator of marriage.
Absolutely. And, marriage has been around for thousands of years. And it's a constant. It's his design. It works. But in the last 50-ish years, we've decided that, that God's way is not right. We'll try it our way. And we see record numbers of divorces, and we see just all kinds of craziness. And now we even see the divorce rate is going down just because people aren't even getting married. So
sure. I mean, people say that marriage changes, but marriage itself does not change. It's society's beliefs that change.
Absolutely.
And I do think it comes all around. Like, I think that there is no brand new sins.
It's just wrapped up in different ways.
How it's delivered, yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, if you look at the societies of old, you look at the Romans, like Jesus' time and stuff like that, they did everything under the sun. I mean, you can read your Bible and see a lot of the stuff they
bathhouses
did, and they were
the temple prostitutes.
They were throwing babies out. You didn't want the baby just thrown on the side of the road.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll get picked up and somebody will make it. If it's a boy, they can be a gladiator. If it's a girl, maybe she'll be a prostitute. And if not, they may just die on the side of the road. So not much has changed, honestly.
Yeah.
But I like that you said that. Yeah, there is no new sin. We may package it up in a shiny new way on our iPhones or on the computer or whatever it may be, or virtually whatever.
Well, it's
but
funny
it's
you
still the
said
same
that.
thing.
It seems like no matter what comes around in society that changes, like technology, like a computer, like an iPhone, anything that, or things of the past, a telephone, we use things for good or for bad.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's a choice we make,
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, yesterday was.
Christmas.
Oh, look at you.
And
Absolutely.
today is.
Christmas Day past.
Or Boxing Day.
Oh. So we're going to put on some gloves and listen, it's not going to be like
Canada, they celebrate Boxing Day.
It's not going to be like that horrible fight we watched Tyson Paul, because that wasn't a fight.
Well, I don't really
There was
watch
no boxing there.
I don't watch boxing, so.
We watched that. It was horrible. Horrible.
You watched that because I think a lot of people wanted to.
We fell for the marketing machine.
Okay, so there was that, but they also felt a little bit of nostalgia.
That's right. I want to see Mike Tyson punch somebody out.
Yeah, they wanted to relive that.
Yes.
And we can't always relive the past.
No. But it's funny you said, I just thought about that when I said, that marketing machine and stuff like that. That's a good example. Or, for Christmas this year.
A good example of what?
Of the marketing and how we just, go to something that we know. Number one, it's not great, and it's something we've seen before, and it's whatever. But, that whole marketing thing, I think that goes with what we were talking about with the sin and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But marketing is great. It gets people to buy things and spend money and do things. What's the greatest marketing of this holiday season, in my opinion?
The Squatty Potty.
Absolutely. The Squatty Potty commercials, they're epic. And yesterday,
but yesterday you played it. You literally went to YouTube and played a commercial.
The best commercial I think I've ever seen is a Squatty Potty commercial from 5 years ago in Australia. And this dude in a unicorn, and it's amazing. I would buy whatever he's selling. I'd have to have it. But then when I gave the Squatty Potties, which I thought, man, this is awesome, they weren't received that well. I don't understand. Did I not market them properly to my
Well, I think
receivers?
You're telling people, hey, I'm going to help you poop.
Yeah, but they got to see the commercial. They got to see that unicorn pooping in that Australian commercial.
From you.
Yeah.
I mean, you might as well wrap it up with a laxative or something.
That's straight from my heart.
Although, that was also your white elephant gift on one of the white elephants that we did.
Yes, for our Thursday night couples group, I did that and some nice bougie 3-ply toilet paper.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like wiping your butt with literally a cloud. And, of course, some Hawaiian Breeze air freshener, because after you get on that Squatty Potty in the perfect position and everything just lets go,
okay,
you're going to need...
I think that you giving a pooping device to your mother-in-law is probably a Christmas gift fail.
I don't.
Okay.
I think...
Okay.
Okay, if we're... hold on.
So what was your favorite gift this year?
What was my favorite gift this year?
We'll just agree that was a fail.
I don't think it was a fail. I think,
what was
perfect.
Consider the receiver.
Exactly.
What was
one of her favorite topics?
No. We're done.
Okay.
What was your favorite gift?
My favorite gift. One of my favorite gift was I got a new pair of shoes, a new pair of Hey Dudes that match my cat, my Bengal.
They match your cat.
Baby.
It's on your hat.
He is.
The cat on the hat.
You're funny. My Snow Lynx Bengal. The colors are almost exactly his colors, so that was cool.
That was a good gift.
Mm-hmm. What about you?
I also got a matching pair of shoes. Not Hey Dudes, but they are white leopard.
Converse,
which I love Converse. I think I have
too many.
Count.
Yes.
Maybe
As you throw them in the dumpster.
12
As you throw them all in the
pairs.
dumpster, you should count.
No, they're great.
No, they're not.
And then Tabby got me a very thoughtful present that she put a lot of time and effort into, that she made. Homemade presents, I think, are very good. Because I don't need...
I think that's more a female thing.
No, you would have liked a coupon book or something.
Let me say this.
You've never used the coupon. We used to give you that when the kids were little. You never used the coupons.
Let me say this. Females appreciate a homemade present. Males, not so much.
Yeah, you noticed that with your daughters. But this homemade present was stellar.
No, it was.
This was stellar.
It was.
So
it was great.
Each month of the year is assigned by someone a flower.
Probably Hallmark.
No, it's not.
I bet it was
because
Hallmark.
actually, if you go
Hallmark.
to Etsy, which Etsy has really great gifts, but if you go to Etsy, you can order pictures with a flower for each member of your household.
I still think it's Hallmark.
Of your family.
Marketing machine.
And it'll say, like, your family's name, and it'll have each flower on it. And they're really, really cute. And Tabby and I were talking about these. I was like, I love these. These are great. And I'm thinking, oh, maybe she'll order me that for Christmas. Like, hint, hint. But she made it. She made a bouquet. She drew all the flowers for each of us. And we each have a different birth month. January, March, May, August, September, October. So they're all different. Like, you could have more than one flower. But they're all different flowers. And it's a bouquet. And it's gorgeous. And she... It's not painted. It's colored because you said it was colored. I thought it was painted.
It is painted.
Oh yeah, okay.
I said she added color.
Oh, okay.
Because she started this probably 2 months ago.
And she's a
when
great
she
artist.
had the original idea, and she told me, and then she drew everything, and she fixed everything because she didn't like some of it, and then
it's beautiful.
Once she finally had everything drawn, then she started adding color to it. And the last thing, she got a frame, everything, but the last thing was this week when she added the wording to it. But no, it is beautiful.
And the really cool thing is she put each of our initials.
Mm-hmm.
So you know whose flower is whose too. Anyway, gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. So that was a really, really good one.
Yeah.
And I love my comfy sweaters that you got me and my cozy socks. And yeah, really nice.
So at Christmas can be... stressful, like the whole thing.
Yes, like chaotic too.
Yes.
Chaotic,
like
stressful, chaotic.
Like the whole. Okay, I have to. Like for you, your stressful part is picking out gifts.
Yeah, I'm not a good gifter.
Amen.
I think I could be thoughtful.
No.
If I made something, but you don't like homemade.
I would just survey our household.
Well, like, do you remember when the kids were little and I crocheted them each their favorite animal and a little stuffed animal? Like, that's something that they can pass on and they can have forever.
I will ask a question. How many of them have that currently or know, and even know where it is?
I mean, Skylar has her pig.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Tabby's monkey is somewhere.
Hmm.
Anyway.
Yes.
Yes. No. So it is stressful for me to pick out the presents. It's gotten easier when there's a list because our kids do a list.
So let's talk list. If we want to open this box, Pandora's box here.
What?
So yes, in our family we do lists for Christmas. And these are specific lists in most cases where there are links that you click. There are instructions to follow for sizing, different things like that, to assure that you, or anybody, I'm not picking on you, that the correct present is bought. Now, there are some people who have a broader range of things, like Kristen said, sweaters.
Yes.
So I bought her like 6 sweaters. Different colors, different styles. You have a good
frame of reference of what I like.
Librarian.
Stop.
Okay. But anyway.
So I was going to say, you hit it out of the park this year. There's not one sweater I don't like.
Well, good.
So it's gotten better through the years.
I like the fuzzy ones.
Yeah, like they're all fuzzy and cozy.
I like that black cardigan fuzzy one.
Oh, that black cardigan is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
but other people are very, very specific.
Yes, very specific.
Like, I am one of those people.
Yeah, and it's hard.
The girls, Trinity for sure is a super specific.
But Trinity, I found...
And the other things. But yesterday, as we are opening gifts, there were some disappointments because there were things that weren't the right sizes.
Sizing was wrong on things.
You know, different things like
all
that.
All around the board. And it's not just from me. And it's not just from each girl, because some girls got the other girls the wrong size. And it's not just from my mom. Like, everyone had that. So it wasn't like, oh, I screwed everyone's up. Everyone screwed each other's up a little bit.
Absolutely.
But in all, I feel like you shouldn't... It's a gift. Like, you shouldn't feel real bad. You just...
I hear you.
It's okay. We'll take care of it. And I appreciate your heart. And I love you.
Yeah,
and
I hear
Christmas.
you. I mean, there's definitely a lot of entitlement in this world. And in my house sometimes.
I thought you were going to say in our family.
I didn't say that. I said sometimes
No,
in my
said
family when the Uggs aren't the right size or the Hokas or...
Yeah, and those are all like very high dollar things. So it
didn't get the right beats.
This is really first world problems.
This is absolutely.
Not, I mean, like, let's look at this in the grand scheme of things. Jesus came to us.
Put skin on.
For us, not for him.
Absolutely.
In any way, shape, or form.
Because we suck.
And he came to us in the poorest of poverties.
Yep.
Like, at Christmas, we look at it like, oh, it's so beautiful. There's like goats around, and there's sheep, and there's you know, shepherds with
Never
robes,
grew up on a farm, did you?
Camels that are coming to visit with all their beautiful colors with the wise men.
What colors are camels?
Well, like the wise men's camels in all of the nativity scenes you see like purple and blue.
Camels.
Not camels, like what they're dressed in.
Oh,
like they have these beautiful robes and jewels and everything's beautiful. But literally, like, now let's think of third world countries and how it's dirty and there's like what you're thinking, the, you know, clay floors. Whatever, mud floors of huts. So my point is, he was in a literal, probably a mud floor with hay and stinky animals and lots of poop around, and it was probably not the best environment to be born in. And then think of how messy births are. Like, he's out, like, yuck. So my point is, he, like, lowered himself down to the poorest of poor with nothing around him. He didn't have these wise men coming that day with all these jewels for him. That could have been months later.
That's good. That's true. It wasn't that day. I mean...
And the goats were dirty and it was smelly.
Why were the goats inside?
I don't know where they were.
Okay.
But I'm not a farmy person.
Oh.
But the point is, how far are we from that beginning where we should be so humbled and honored and awestruck that this is where our God appeared? And we're talking about the wrong size of a pair of $150 shoes. Like, it's sad. Like, when I think about that, it's sad.
There's so much good there, and I think, like, number one, no, you did not grow up on a farm. But
that's number one.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking when you're going through this in my mind. I'm like, what are you talking about? You have no idea. And my biggest frame of reference is when we go to my dad's. When we go to the farm, and you are just like, it's dirty. It's all dirty. The animals, it smells. I stepped in it. and
And that's a
everything.
farm in
So that is
2020. Like, you
that
right? It's
is,
not
and
a
it's a
farm
farm today,
thousands
and
of
I
years
think
ago.
I think that's good and a good reference for everybody that yes, it wasn't the thing that we're thinking of. We idealize this little thing and we put this little manger and we put all these things in there and everything. But if you have lived on a farm, if you have grown up on a farm,
Yeah.
that's not what it is. And I think it's funny. I thought about this when you were talking too. Think about when we go to Rich Analysis and when they have the worship with the goats and the pasture and everything like that. And think about when
Friends
you
of ours have a goat farm and they do worship and they do stuff. So just frame of reference. Go ahead.
so when you walk into Rich Analysis, you park and you walk through the barn,
Yeah.
and it's one thing. And yeah, there's
It's
the
cute.
hay and there's all this stuff around, and it's cute and all this. That's because Alice works her butt off to keep it clean and make it and keep it like that.
Right.
But then you walk into the pasture and you're walking down to where this quote unquote stage is and everything and where we sit and stuff. And you're walking through and it's all uneven and there's goat poop and there's mud and there's hay and there's whatever they've been eating and all this other stuff. And that's reality. Like, that's the reality of the manger. It wasn't like, it was a barn.
Right. It wasn't developed for a baby
And
birth.
it wasn't this 2024 beautiful, immaculate barn on a farm that has to meet some kind of standard to sell whatever they're doing there. You know, if it's we have these rules in the United States that if, you know, we were going to sell something, do something, it has to meet this standard.
Right.
There was no standard.
Right.
You know, there was no standard. It was just a building where they put the animals when the weather was bad or they were having a baby or something like that. It wasn't like, oh, it wasn't the Hilton
The
for
animals were having
it
a
wasn't
baby,
the
not
yeah,
the people.
it wasn't
were
the
having a
Hilton
baby.
for animals, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which I mean, think about it. How many mangers have you seen in your life? You look at these little manger scenes and stuff. That's not what you get. You get this little clean, everything's nice. You have this star over it. It's pretty, but that wasn't reality. That wasn't it. And God came down from high, put skin on, and yeah, he became last and to the bottom and everything. And we don't like that part of it. We don't like that it's messy and dirty and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of this misconception we have. We've idealized it and wrapped it up and made it, oh, this beautiful thing. Was it beautiful? Absolutely, because God came down. It wasn't beautiful where it was and stuff like that.
But I think it's important because he started in the mess, and
Yes.
we are all messy.
Absolutely.
We are not perfect. And if he started in perfection, you know what we would be striving for? We would be striving for something unattainable.
Yes. And I think when you were talking about that earlier too, and you're talking about our first world problems and stuff like this, and that we think, oh, well, that's the wrong size. I deserve better than that and everything like that. And we're like the Pharisees and the Sadducees. We're like the ones that, you know, God came down and they couldn't even see him because they were above that. They were
Yeah.
too good for that because they deserved, you know, the right size hookah or the right size whatever, or they deserved the more expensive or the better or more and stuff like that. They weren't happy just to be there and just to have that experience of community and family and with God.
Yeah.
And isn't that where we sit today, you know, in so many things, whether it be our families, definitely our marriages. People are like, oh, you're too messy. I got to get rid of you and get a new one. This is too hard. Yeah, absolutely. If you did everything I told you, asked you, wanted from you, even the uncommunicated expectations, if you could do all that, I'd be very happy and life would be good.
But then that's also where I think we need to look at priorities, because what you're saying is you're looking at as a me-centered.
Absolutely.
Where if you stop that viewpoint and you are God-centered, which is priority number one, then how does God want me to act in this scenario? How would God tell me to treat this person? How would Jesus have treated that person? So we have that example of that only perfect person. And then, like, priority after that, our spouse.
Yep.
What can I do, not for me, but for him, to make his life better, easier, to make him, to meet his needs, basically, looking at what to meet the other person's needs. So I think it depends on that too. That all ties together.
And I think that's a big part of it, that when we look at Christmas and stuff like that, it's all about receiving, but it's not, because if we look at the Bible and what happened, and we were a mess, and we still are a mess.
Yeah.
And we need love and we need grace. So God so loved the world that he gave.
Yeah.
And so much of Christmas is about what we get, not what we give.
Yeah.
And our hearts are postured in a way where it's all about me. It's about what I get. It's not about what I give. It's not about who I help. It's just about what I get. And we just, go away from Christmas. That's the posture we lead our lives with. It's about, what can I get? Can I get a bigger house? Can I get a newer car? Can I get more money to do this? Can I get new clothes? Can I get, can I go to the gym and get a new body? Can I, can I get a better wife, a better husband, or job, or whatever it may be? We just spend all of our time getting instead of giving.
Right.
And all those things suffer because we're not giving.
And once you start giving, you stop the me center.
Absolutely. And in the Bible, same thing. It said, what's the greatest command? To love your God with all your heart, your mind, your soul.
One.
But what's the next? To love
all else,
your neighbor.
Which is everyone.
It's everyone. But your closest neighbor is your spouse.
Yep.
And we lose that so often because love of self,
Yeah.
But God didn't do that. He loved us so much, he sent his son.
So it's a big contrast then. If you're looking at it, it's a big contrast to what Christmas is developed even in our own home.
Yeah.
When we've had our
Absolutely.
list of take,
Yep.
to where it started from nothing and
Yep.
all giving.
Yep.
So
It is. So we fail at Christmas sometimes,
Yeah. But
like everything else.
But I think that just starting that conversation of how can I be better? What did I do wrong? What can I do better? And we can't go back to yesterday. So each day is a different day. And yesterday was still a great day. I'm not saying like we failed at Christmas. Like we didn't. We're talking about aspects that were not great. But we had all of our family here.
Which doesn't happen very often.
All of us healthy, lots of laughter, great food, community together.
Yeah.
Everyone was happy.
Yeah.
With what they received and what they gave. Like, our girls are doing such a great job at giving to each other.
Yes.
Which
we're
hands off, right, for a lot of that. And giving to their boyfriends or whomever, and giving to us. Everyone gave gifts, but it's not about that.
No.
So I think that just even starting like, hey, because I know you and I said this year we probably failed a little bit at connecting through the chaos.
Yeah.
Because I think you can choose, is this going to separate us or is this going to bring us together? And I think we didn't communicate through it. I think that's where I think if the two of us could have gotten better through the chaos of Christmas, through the stress of Christmas, because I did feel that you had extra stress the last couple weeks. I think communicating more through it would have been the way.
Yeah. But I mean,
what do you think? Do you agree, or how would you have?
I mean, I think that's always the answer. I mean, I think that's always the communication.
But
we fail at that.
listening too.
Yeah, we fail at that so often. We're not good communicators. We may think we are, and I'm saying that people in a whole. Like I remember Naked Marriage, listening to those guys, to Dave and Ashley, talking about it, and they both had degrees in communication, and they got married, and they figured out, whoa, I really suck at communication. I have a degree in this, but I suck at it. And then I think if we go back and we think about it and look at like the Bible and stuff like that, what God tells us to do and how we're supposed to be, like He's our Father, He's our best friend, stuff like that. But do we live our life that way?
Right.
Do we live our life communicating with Him by reading the Word, where He speaks to us, by praying, where we can hear Him and inviting the Spirit into us and stuff like that? Or do a lot of times we like, oh, I'm so busy, I don't have time for that today, or I got 2 minutes to do this, then I got to get on to my time and everything like that. But guess what? When something happens, when we have a problem, He's number one on that priority list and stuff like that. And I think it works like that in our marriages too, in our family with our kids and stuff like that as well. Like we're not good communicators. We may think we are, but we choose to leave that as like the last resort. Like, I'm going to do everything to make sure this works, and I'm going to get everything taken care of. And if all that fails, then I'm going to talk to you about it and say, hey, can you help me do this? Or, hey, I really thought we were going to do this, or something like that.
Right.
Communication is the fail safe.
If you're doing things for the other person and that's not what they need.
Yeah, if you're not communicating,
well
you don't know what they need. I mean, after 25 years, I think I know what you need in a lot of cases. And you think you know what I need in a lot of cases, but in most of those, at specific times, I'm not going to say most, but in a lot of those at specific times, we're wrong.
And that's where it goes back to, am I being me-centered? Am I being...
Yeah. And it is that communication part. Like, that's part of it. Like, the part of the giving, we need to communicate our thoughts, our emotions, and we need to receive those as well. That's part of it. We have to be willing to give our time and our attention so that we love our neighbor, our wife, our husband well. If we're not listening to them, we can't love them well. If we don't know what they need, if we're not talking through the things, if we're not validating their feelings, their thoughts, their wants, their emotions, their needs, we're not loving well.
Yeah, and that's such a good point. And it's funny because going back to Christmas and gift giving and that, like, there's a really good analogy in that, because we need to communicate if we want to know what the other person wants, desires. But also, like, one of our daughters says, I will never give my boyfriend a list because I want to see what they come up with. I want to see if they know me. I want
setting them up to fail.
Yeah, so it's like we should be testing each other too, right? We should like, it's not a test. Like, oh, are they going to pass? Are they going to fail? Are they going to pass? Yeah.
How? I mean, you're just setting them up to fail,
right?
Because they could give you everything, literally, and there's always going to be something in your back of your mind. Well, you didn't do this,
right? If you
really loved me, then you would have, you really would. You would have known this was the more important than that, So we're always setting that up when we fail to communicate, which we do daily.
But thank goodness that this is the sweet spot of the year. I know a lot of people feel that after Christmas, there's that, I have nothing to look forward to, or I have whatever that is. But I think of this week as like, the stress of the running around, of the gift wrapping, of the buying, it's done.
Mm-hmm.
And we can sit in this week between Christmas and New Year just enjoying the peace, having our tree up, having the lights on, having family around still.
That is, of course, after you return all the crap that was wrong or whatever.
That's fine. It's not a big deal.
Actually, we went out this morning. It really wasn't bad. We went to a few stores this morning to return some stuff, grab some stuff, and it, like, they
The
were not
crowds,
busy.
yeah.
I was very surprised.
Crowds are bad. But
It wasn't
the
bad.
one place we did have to return things
Yes.
to was closed.
Amazon is closed
And I'm
on
glad they
December
were
26th.
closed. I'm glad. Because they probably pushed their people to work so hard before Christmas. I mean, you know that they did everything to get these things delivered. They kept moving that date. We kept watching, like, okay, order by today and it'll come in. And it was, like, you had plenty of time to order
That was
stuff.
AI. They didn't move anything.
Okay, it doesn't matter. And they probably were pushing their people
Yeah.
to work.
They're
Like,
you
they
gotta
probably
go.
weren't able to take
You have
off
to go to the Sword House 4 times
32
today.
times because they won't consolidate their
Only 5
packages.
tomorrow.
And Christmas and the day after they have off. So that's
Yeah.
good.
So that
That's
is
fine.
nice.
We
I'm
can
sure
return
they
our
are
stuff tomorrow.
hating. Yeah, and I'm sure it's going to be crazy
You
when we
better
go to
be
return
there
stuff tomorrow.
first thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I hear ya.
because I work. So
Anyway, but yeah, no, it is that time to rest a little bit and relax and enjoy, family. People are home more. The girls are out. There's no school, so that's
yeah,
nice.
they're just enjoying
Stuff like that. Our one daughter works at a
stuff.
school, so she's home.
Yeah.
So we have 2 of them home for sure. But yeah, you just make more time and things to do to just kind of relax and reflect.
It's
And
like a week of Sabbath.
yeah, it could be.
Could be.
Yeah. But
And then we've got New Year's where
yeah,
we have some
celebrate.
family again and some snacks and your punch.
yeah. So that'll be fun. But yeah, no, it is that time to and I think that's good. Like you said, it is a time of Sabbath and stuff because it is. It's kind of the time to reflect on your year.
Yeah.
And look back and see, okay, well, this went really well or this didn't go well and different things like that. And I think we need that. We need that time, like that reprieve, that breath
Yeah.
to say, okay, like it's over. This year's over. Because the other part of that is we need to be looking forward to next year and we need to take that time to breathe, to just slow down. And that's a great time to communicate with God and to, say, God, what do you have for me? What are we doing this next year? What direction do you want us to go in and stuff like that?
Right. And I think we do that in January, and we'll talk more about that too, the vision for the year.
Yeah, but I think you need to, right now is that time just to rest and talk to God and to talk to your spouse and kind of get on that same page and start to get on that same page as you prepare to engage with 2025.
Yeah.
And all that's going to bring.
Really good.
So, but yeah, so hopefully next week we'll have some guests. We definitely have some guests coming up.
Upcoming.
And talking about, you talked about this earlier. I don't think we did. I think that was in our take that didn't happen.
Overcoming.
We all have things in our lives that we're going to overcome. It's constant. It doesn't go away. It never goes away. There's the peaks, the valleys, and everything in between, whether it be with money, it could be with health, it could be with kids, it could be with just stress, there could be an affair, there could be, losing a job, whatever it may be.
And the other thing is, challenges that we're going to have aren't necessarily, they're going to hit our marriage.
Yeah.
And they're going to be hard on us together, but it doesn't necessarily mean there's challenges between us. They could be health challenges. Yeah. They could be disaster related. They could be, like, there are so many challenges, life challenges that they're going to affect your marriage because we're doing life together.
Absolutely. And most of those challenges are not by choice. They're not like something like, oh, I'm going to do this.
Right.
I'm going to get sick. I'm going to, there's going to be a tornado. There's going to be, it's not. So we have to be communicating with one another.
And learn from each other.
Absolutely.
Because other people are going to be going through challenges that we may not have a lot of knowledge to speak to, but we can bring them on to discuss how they got through it and their viewpoint and keeping God first. And I think that that's super important.
Absolutely. Because there's always going to be those peaks and valleys and stuff, and we all want the peaks. But if you just look at this world, nothing lives on the peaks.
Right.
There's nothing living on the top of Denali or Everest or any of these places. Those low of lows, like the Dead Sea.
Yeah.
It's the dead see. We don't want to be living there either. We want to be living in the middle, in the margins, where things are going up and down. We're going to go up, and it's going to be great when we hit the crest and look out, and then we're going to go down, and sometimes we're going to be walking through that valley. But we're doing it together, side by side, hand in hand, and God's right there with us.
Yes.
And we'll get through it, no matter if it's good or bad. But that communication piece, I think that's the huge piece of it. We need to be talking to each other. We need those people who have been through these things.
Yep.
To speak into us and to offer guidance. And, even if they're not speaking into us, even if they're not offering guidance, we can look at those people and say, wow, they went through what we went through.
Yeah.
And they're still moving forward.
And
they're still going.
It's a good point you have, because the community is so important. I know we have spoken about this before, but in order to go through something, we have people around us that can shoulder that with you, that can
Absolutely.
that can help you through the load, that you can communicate to and say, hey, I'm having a bad day, can you pick my daughter up, or something like that. I think that in a lot of our low points in our marriage, we had sheltered ourselves off from the community, and it made things, now in retrospect, so much harder.
Absolutely.
Where I appreciate so much knowing that we have such good friends that if we needed something at 1 a.m, I know we have more than a handful that we could just call and they would be pleased to help, which is so, just the thought of knowing that you're not alone, it makes it easier to.
Absolutely. And, we were not designed to do life alone. God did not design us to do life alone. If we were, there would be Adam. He designed Eve because it was not good for him to be alone. Same thing, we have our families. Look at Jesus. He had the people around him.
Yeah.
There was a big crowd, but he had the closeness
of
the community right around him. And then he sent them out to do the exact same thing. That's all church is about. It's about multiplication. It's about building community based around God. So, we're getting long.
Yep. So, we're done for 2024.
Yeah, this is it.
This is it.
So,
we'll see you next year.
Yes. So, Merry Christmas one more time.
Merry Christmas.
Happy New Year. We will see you next year.